是全球战略副总裁世田，来帮我们分享新方法、新一代云协作平台，以及如何透过西门子云战略实现创新。那我们掌声欢迎他。
欢迎世田，按新加坡来好朋友。大家好，我是世田。
你好。大家好，大家好。我叫世田，姓吴，是来自新加坡的，所以比南部的这个朋友们没来的还更南部一点哦，应该是，这个也非常这个兴奋，能够又站在这里。其实4年前我们就在这个酒店就举办了这个 Solid Edge University， 我还记得我在练，对吧？可是当时我们的2位老外的这个美国同事是没有过来，可是当时我记得他们都有过来，对吧？那这4年，当然这个疫情我也很开心有这个机会又回到美丽的台湾台中过来跟大家见面。那首先我今天因为待会我会介绍我们待会我会讲的这个议程，不好意思，我先问一下我的clicker，对，谢谢啊。好，那主要今天来讲的不会是我，因为我带了2个我们非常重要的这个美国的长官，我待会刚稍微有讲到，我待会来介绍一下。那首先我借用这个大家的5分钟的时间，因为我是要先感谢一直支持我们的这个 Solid Edge 的客户，对吧？这个一直在，尤其是从很早以前，有可能10年都开始去在用我们的 Solid Edge， 非常的感谢你们哦。那我本身小弟也是2010年开始接触管理这个 Solid Edge 在亚太的这一块的业务发展。那第二，当然我知道来的这个贵宾也有一些有可能在做决定，想要选择 Solid Edge， 我也是先感谢你们，希望你们加入这个家庭是非常有活力、非常温暖的啊。然后再来，我要感谢的也是刚刚浩文有讲的，对吧？非常感谢这么多年来凯德在这个台湾帮我们扛起这个 Solid Edge 的大旗。那其实刚刚浩文也提到了，对吧？都10几年，其实我这个礼拜过来才知道，昨天是凯德14年周年纪念在台湾市场经营 Solid Edge 的业务，所以请大家掌声这个鼓励一下凯德的这个同事们，这个14年不简单，不简单，对，好。然后当然最后就是感谢我们在座前面的这个西门子台湾的同事，对吧？尤其是这个哈维，我的好朋友、好同事，认识好多年了，我们台湾的这个总经理。好兄弟，侯亚比了哦。好，那接下来最重要的，就像我讲，今天对我们来讲，台湾是一个西门子非常重要的市场，对吧？当然，哈维那样讲，他是台湾的总经理嘛，当然可是对我们来讲，的确是非常重要的一个市场。所以今天我带了2位我们很重要的同事，也是我认识很多年的这个好同事、好战友在 Solid Edge。为什么带了他们2位呢？首先，第一位我要先跟大家介绍的是一位叫 Dan Stable 的。我先让 Dan Stable 先 Dan， would you mind just stand up and say hi to everybody？ 谢谢大家掌声。那 Dan 呢，他是负责我们整个 Solid Edge 的研发。我们今天在用的产品就是 Dan 的团队开发。而且很重要的一点 ，Dan 其实我们把它称为就是我们 Solid Edge 的父亲、教父，因为 Solid Edge 它原生第一版就是他在做的，对，所以很重要。所以希望大家如果要这个练习英文，请等一下大家休息，多跟我们的这个同事用英文交流一下。然后第2位也很重要，Brian，would you mind standing up？第2位是 Grogan， 那他跟 Dan 可以算说是2个是非常重要，要把一个好的产品 推出我有好的研发，也要有好的产品管理。那 Brian 今天在负责的就是产品管理规划这一块，所以今天我们重视台湾，不仅仅是说了，用行动把我们最重要在这里去开发我们的产品的最大的长官都请到台湾来一起参加这个 Solid Edge University 的活动。那我这边也就不再多说，我这里就请这个 Dan 上来跟大家去分享我们西门子怎么去帮大家走向数字化的这样的一个旅程，好吧 ？Alright, Dan, I'll just like bring you up on stage.
我们掌声欢迎。
谢谢。Alright, Dan, over to you.
Thank you, Satya. Hello, and first of all, thank you for having me here. It's great to see so many great Solid Edge and CADX users here today. I want you to know that, of course, we're very happy to see you here today and all gathered together, but it's not just in this room. You're a part of a much larger community of Solid Edge users around the world. And we're having events like this around the world where we bring users together and you can share stories with each other, how you use Solid Edge, how you can be more productive. It's a great opportunity for you to meet other people and their usage of Solid Edge. And we're very proud of what this community has brought. We certainly bring Solid Edge to you as we believe the best CAD product in the world, and apparently many other people believe that as well. There's a company by the name of G2 that does a survey of users, and users have the opportunity to comment on their CAD software and what they think of it. And as you can see, Solid Edge is ranked #1 out of 53 CAD products on the G2 site, and also #1 in Canada. And in addition to customers in this room creating great products, we're also trying to bring forward the next generation of engineers and really improve the world as well. So one of the things that Solid Edge offers is the ability as a startup to use the software for free in order to bring about change in the world and build your company. And here are some companies that are doing that today. A company by the name of Plastic Fisher. So Plastic Fisher creates products that keep plastics in the river from making it to the ocean. They strain out the plastics, and they use Solid Edge as a startup. And $1 glasses, so what is that? 30 Taiwanese dollars. You can make a pair of glasses. And actually the machinery that makes those glasses requires no electricity. So very poor economies can make $1 glasses and use these machines and build these machines because they need no electricity. What about Blue Flux Energy? Blue Flux Energy takes waste products and turns it into usable energy. So these are just examples of some startups that are using Solid Edge in order to change the world. Now, if you know of anybody who is in a startup, it doesn't have to be a startup that's changing the world, it's just a great engineering idea, and they want to progress that idea. Solid Edge for Startups will allow them to do that. They can become a very successful company like your own. So as you know, and as I'm saying here, we work often with very small businesses, but we also work with medium-sized businesses and larger businesses as well. But we actually had a company by the name of IDC do a study and talk to users around the world, particularly small and mid-sized businesses. And they said, and 72% of them said that actually they believe that digital technologies are key to them competing with the larger companies. If you're a smaller company in the room or a mid-sized company, you've got some very large competitors, and digital technologies are the key to achieving parity with them or exceeding them. And we dug in a little further to that and said, well, what kind of technologies are we talking about here? And it turns out that cloud is a technology that's really taking off in SaaS-type products. So about 29% of people said that cloud computing was a priority for them today, but almost 50% said that software as a service, SaaS, that we spoke about a second ago, is a priority in the next year. And so if your company's not looking at that, I encourage you to start looking at it because it's very important. You're going to learn a lot more about that as we speak today. So some companies are already taking advantage of this, like Hall Designs. So Hall Designs use Accelerator Share to improve their productivity dramatically. Talk more about what Share is but it basically gives you, through the power of the cloud, the ability to collaborate more effectively. As we know, particularly with the pandemic, people are spread out. There are engineers here, there are engineers in the south of Taiwan, there's engineers in the north of Taiwan, there's engineers overseas somewhere, and you all have to work together. Accelerator Share allows you to do that, and you saw the results that Craig Hall, the founder of Hall Designs, has found. So up to a 25% improvement in product revision time, and an 80% reduced time in sharing designs. These are the kind of things that your company can do as well. So how are we able to bring these amazing technologies to you? One of the ways is through the investment that we've made. So over the past several years, we've invested more than 10 billion euro in bringing other companies into the Siemens portfolio to allow us to provide technologies to you. You saw earlier some finite element meshing. Well, that uses technology from a company that merged with us a few years ago. You see products in electrical, you see products in PCB. All these are through our investment in technology over the past several years. And it may surprise you to know that Siemens is in fact one of the top 10 software companies in the world now. This allows us to build Accelerator. So what is Accelerator? It's a portfolio of services and software, an application development platform that allows you to do digital transformation. Importantly, it goes beyond just mechanical design. It could be simulation, it could be manufacturing, it could be electrical design. We really cover the whole gamut of products here. And you can think of Solid Edge as your starting point in the Accelerator portfolio. It's a great place to start, it's easy to use, it's easy to learn, it's easy to deploy, and then you can expand into other areas as you go. So the Solid Edge portfolio now, you may think of Solid Edge as a CAD system. Indeed, it is a CAD system. It's a great CAD system, the best CAD system. But not only does it have mechanical, as you see in the center, it also has manufacturing technology, it has electrical technology, simulation, we'll talk more about that in a second. Even a publications product now where you can take all of that data that you've created over the years in Solid Edge and leverage it to create amazing online technical publications. And finally, the ability to manage this data and the various products you produce. So I love all of the different products in the portfolio, but I want to highlight to you a few that I think would be valuable to the people in this room. And the first of those is Solid Edge Design Configurator. This is a product we introduced a couple of years ago. And what it allows you to do is capture the knowledge of your senior engineers. So for creating a conveyor belt, for example, there's some knowledge that says when it's 5 meters long, it needs 10 feet or stands and a certain number of conveyor rollers. But when it's 3 meters long, it needs a different number. Well, those senior engineers have this knowledge, but rather than them spending all their time designing this over and over again, they can capture that knowledge. And then junior engineers or even sales engineers can configure products very simply. If you look at the dialog on the left-hand side, you just key in a few parameters and the system figures out for you, using that captured knowledge, exactly how to build that product very quickly. Another product that I think you should be taking a very close look at is model-based definition. If you think about the way we create models and drawings today, we feel like the model is the source of all the truth. It knows everything. But when you think about it, it doesn't. If someone asks you, well, what's the tolerance on that hole? You have to say, well, I'll have to go get the drawing and then I can tell you. So you have half of your information in the drawing and you have half of the information in the model. And that's not very productive. The notion of model-based definition is we want to put that knowledge in the model. Now we can use that downstream. If we still want to create drawings, that's great. Create drawings all you want. Solid Edge is very good at that. Or if you wanted to create a very smart PDF, you can do that as well, because all the knowledge is derived from the 3D model. Another product that I think people in this room could leverage very effectively is simulation. So we all know in our hearts that if we create something that has a problem later, after it's being manufactured, it costs an enormous amount of money. You have a problem in the field, it costs you money, it costs you your reputation. But if you can find that problem digitally in the computer first, that problem is never going to exist, and that's what simulation elements you do. You can optimize weight as well, which is very important these days and contributes to sustainability. Now, one of the reasons I think some people aren't using this today is they say, well, I don't need it all the time. Can I justify the expense of it? I might have to do a big justification to management of how much money we're going to save. So maybe that keeps you from using simulation. Well, we're going to talk today about why that doesn't need to keep you back anymore. There's new ways to buy Solid Edge and Solid Edge simulation that will allow you to experiment and find different products that are going to be valuable to you, such as simulation. We'll talk more in a second about that. So in fact, that leads me to some new buying options. Solid Edge flexible purchasing options, and there's two that we're going to talk about today. I'll talk about the first one, and then Brian will join me in a second to talk about the other two. The first is Solid Edge SAS. So you've heard that term a couple times today already. Software as a service. So rather than buying a perpetual license and maintenance as perhaps you do today, it's simply a subscription service. But not only is it convenient because you can either add seats or go down seats very easily because it's a subscription, but it brings many other things to the table as well, and I'll talk about what those are. Brian will talk in just a few minutes about value-based licensing. So value-based licensing allows you to look at the different Solid Edge products, be able to use different ones at different times for a very low cost. I think it's going to be very interesting to all of you. And then finally, Siemens mechanical design, a way to use Solid Edge and NX together that allows you to very much optimize your software portfolio and work with Siemens solutions seamlessly. So let's talk about Solid Edge SAS. What is it exactly and what do you get from it? Well, it's a cloud-connected product, and we'll talk about why that brings value to you. First, of course, you get Solid Edge. The Solid Edge you know and love. It's CAD software, it's modeling software, manufacturing prep. All the Solid Edge you know and love comes with Solid Edge SAS. But you also get data management and security with Solid Edge SAS. So you can, for example, when you buy Solid Edge SAS, you get cloud storage. You don't have to worry about whether your files are properly backed up because they're always securely stored in the cloud. But the real thing that cloud brings to you is this ability to collaborate, to work together. I think it's very unlikely that anyone in here is not having to work with a supplier or a customer. And that supplier and customer is not just down the hall from you. They're not down the street from you. They're in a different part of Taiwan, or maybe even in another country. And so this allows you to collaborate very effectively. So this is one of the key benefits of Solid Edge SAS. Mobility is another benefit. So you're used to using Solid Edge on your desktop at your office. Well, what if you could access your data anywhere in the world at any time on any device? So it's architected to not need a Windows PC. Any place you have a web browser, you have access to your data. We've also put in augmented reality. So this is becoming very valuable, the notion to be able to see your product in the context of a real-world environment. If you watch the initial video, you would see the coffee maker being put into a kitchen. And of course, the coffee maker didn't exist. It's a virtual product, and that's called augmented reality. And then finally, it also gives you access to value-based licensing that Brian will talk about in just a second. We'll go into more detail on that. So let's just take a quick peek at what Share looks like. So you look at a dashboard here that gives you all the information about your products in a heads-up format. So you have your recent documents that you've worked on, you have your recent projects that you've worked on. But at the top also, you have a summary of your assignments. So it's more than just managing your data, it's managing your workflow. So you have different assignments in different states. So let's see how it works then. Here I am looking at my assignments, and I see them organized by due date, which ones are due soon, which ones have a little bit more time. Or I might have my assignments by status. It also has a great online help system that really kind of drives you through the product and lets you learn very quickly. Here we're creating a new project. And it doesn't have any content, so we're going to add some content to it. All those files are very quickly uploaded to the cloud where it's completely secure and you have the ability to collaborate. There's also a desktop syncing tool if you're familiar with, for example, Dropbox, and the notion that the information that's in the cloud can come down to your desktop automatically, or vice versa. So we sync all those files down to our desktop, and perhaps we have some other files we need to work with up in the cloud to share it with somebody. They're automatically synced up to the cloud, so here they come. Who do I want to share them with, and what access do I want to give? Do I want them to be able to download them or edit them, or just review them in this case? So we'll say, let's just review. I can also add notes, so I need some notes here that maybe I need to get into this project and make some changes to it. Here's our coffee maker. We're going to take a look at it and explode it out and see some parts inside. What about this little arm? It might need some adjustments of some sort. So let's focus in on that. Let's do a measurement first real quick. We can do this on our phone even. This is fully transportable on any device. So if we get in the arm, we'll say, okay, let's make a little bit of a markup. This is the area I want you to look at, and this is what I want you to do. Can we make a cutout here? Can we reduce the weight? Well, let's put that in the markup. And again, this is just running in a web browser. There's nothing else for you, your customer, suppliers to buy in order to do what you're seeing here. It runs in a web browser. So I want to assign a task for somebody to keep track of, and there's what we call a Kanban board to keep track of the tasks so that they're organized into columns, and we'll be able to move them between the columns as we progress tasks along. So remember, this is managing more than just your data, it's managing your work process as well. We can see what's important, what's low, what's medium. We have some medium tasks here, and we want to move it along the Kanban board. And so Accelerator Share comes as a part of Solid Edge SAS. So if you're interested in that, get to know Solid Edge SAS more deeply through Daniel and his team. And what you'll find is that you're able to collaborate a lot more effectively and get that same type of productivity that we saw with Hall Designs. Now, there are two other ways to buy Solid Edge that I think you're going to find very interesting. I'd like to invite Brian on stage to talk about those. The first is something that we call value-based licensing, where you can get the features you want when you want them.
好，我们的那个资料袋里面有讲者的简报，可以拿出来做一些对应。OK， 那英文很好的就可以不用。OK， thanks.
Hello everyone, it's wonderful to have the opportunity to speak with you all today. So as Dan says, I'll be going over two new license bundles that we have that we're quite excited about. The first is value-based licensing. Now if you've been using Solid Edge for a while, you know we've spent the last several years rounding out the Solid Edge product to be a complete portfolio of product design capabilities. But in addition to providing you with those capabilities, we want to make it really easy for you to access all those great capabilities. And that's where value-based licensing comes in. So have you ever found yourself thinking, I know Solid Edge has this great new capability, I think it could help me right now, if only I could get my hands on the license. Well, value-based licensing gives you a flexible and affordable way to access a wide and growing range of Solid Edge products. So the way this works is we give you a bundle of add-on product capability, and every product in that bundle has a value assigned to it in terms of number of tokens, as shown in the table on the left there. So for example, Solid Edge Express Route has a value of 6 tokens, where Standard Simulation has a value of 12 tokens. And so what you do is, all you need to get started is a base product of Solid Edge Classic or Premium. You buy a pool of these tokens, and then you can use those tokens to access, check in and out these add-on capabilities whenever you need them. So right now in Solid Edge 2023, the products in our value-based license bundle are the ones shown on the left there, but we're working hard to get all of our add-on capabilities added on to that value-based license bundle here in the near future. So this is really great in general, but it's really helpful when you have add-on capability that you don't need to use every single day, because you no longer have to buy that individual product just to have it sitting on the shelf some of the time. It's also great because as we add new products going forward to Solid Edge, it will automatically be added to the value-based license bundle so you can get access to those immediately with that new release. So let's take a look at a quick example of how this works. So we have 4 Solid Edge users and a value-based license token pool of 25 as shown on the bottom of the slide. So at 9 a.m. we have 4 Solid Edge concurrent sessions. We haven't yet checked out any add-on capability. But at 9:30, user number 1 checks out Express Route, which consumes 6 tokens, leaving 19 tokens left in the pool. Now at 10 a.m., user number 2 starts an FEA simulation session, consuming 12 tokens, leaving 7 tokens left in the pool. And at 10:05, we have user 3 that checks out an advanced EMI license, which consumes 4 tokens. Now at noon, both user 1 and user 3 are done with advanced BMI and Express Route. They check those back in, which releases those 10 tokens into the pool, which then allows user number 4 at 12:30 to start up another standard simulation. So hopefully you can see this gives you a lot of flexibility to how you and your design team can access a lot of add-on capability. So again, in summary, it's a very cost-effective way to get flexible access to a lot of add-on capabilities. It's great for applications that you may not need to use every single day. But what I really love about value-based licensing is that in the future, when we add new products to Solid Edge, we'll automatically make them part of the value-based licensing bundle, which means you as a user don't have to worry about getting an evaluation license to check out that new product. You don't have to execute a separate purchase. You already own that new product. As soon as you install the latest version of Solid Edge that has that new product, you can start using it immediately. We've also been working in Solid Edge to make sure our Solid Edge users have access to that broader portfolio of capability that Dan talked about with the Siemens Accelerator platform. And Siemens Mechanical Design is one way that we're doing that. So, Siemens Accelerator, as Dan said, has a broad portfolio of capability to allow you to build a digital twin of your product or processes, and an important element of that is mechanical design. Our 2 products from Siemens is Solid Edge and NX. Now, the mechanical design software can traditionally be divided into 2 categories, what industry analysts call design-focused mechanical CAD and multidiscipline mechanical CAD. Where design-focused CAD really gives you all the core design capabilities you need to design great products, and there's a particular emphasis on optimizing price performance for those solutions. The other category, multidiscipline CAD, has the capabilities of design-focused CAD, but they add some highly specialized applications that support certain industry workflows, but it comes at a higher price point. Now, most PLM companies today have both design-focused and multidiscipline CAD solutions. Obviously, we're providing our world-class solutions of Solid Edge and NX. Now, as you know, we have a lot of capability in Solid Edge, but what if you could extend that portfolio of capability to include some of these specialized applications inside of NX? So in order to give our customers access to both great products, we've created the Siemens Mechanical Design License Bundle. And that Siemens Mechanical Design License Bundle, one seat of Siemens Mechanical Design allows you to check out either 3 concurrent sessions of Solid Edge Classic or 1 seat of NX Mach 1. So let's take a look at what that looks like in an example on the left, where we have 5 Siemens Mechanical Design seats. So with those 5 seats, you can check out 15 concurrent sessions of Solid Edge if you had no need to use NX at that time. On the other side, you could spin up 5 concurrent sessions of NX Mach 1 if you had no need to use Solid Edge at that time. But really, you can use any 3-to-1 combination in between. So in the middle of the table, you see the example of we can have 9 concurrent Solid Edge sessions, while at the same time have 2 users using the NX product. So really, Siemens Mechanical Design gives our users and customers the ability to have the best of both worlds, both NX and Solid Edge, to support their design workflows. So, who could use Siemens Mechanical Design? Well, if you as a customer have Solid Edge as your core design product, but you think you may have access to some of these specialized applications in NX, Siemens Mechanical Design might be a good solution for you. But also, maybe NX is your core CAD system because you need that multi-domain CAD solution for your product design, but you value having the price performance of Solid Edge for some downstream workflows, say tool and fixture design and manufacturing. There too, Siemens Mechanical Design might be a great solution for you. But in either case, hopefully you see, we allow our customers to pick the right tool for the right design workflow. Both solutions coming from one vendor, Siemens. Both solutions have an industry-leading interoperability between the two. So a key to making this all work is making sure Solid Edge and NX have best-in-class interoperability in the market today, and indeed they do. So in terms of data interoperability, both NX and Solid Edge are built on the same Parasolid geometry engine. Parasolid being the industry-leading geometry engine on the market, and it has been for decades. Parasolid is also developed by Siemens. But we take it beyond the innate interoperability that comes between two products that are built upon the same geometry engine. We ensure that the data that goes from Solid Edge to NX and NX to Solid Edge is fully associative. We ensure that things like kinematic joints, PMI, material properties all transfer accurately to support these workflows. But we take it beyond the data interoperability to look at what's it like for a user to move between these two solutions. So now both Solid Edge and NX conform to the same Siemens user interface and user experience guidelines and standards, which means they now have a very similar look and feel. So if you as a Solid Edge user need to go over to NX to use one of these specialized applications, it's a similar look and feel, and it's much easier for you to pick that up. And on the right, what we're showing with these plus process chains, what that means is we looked at the common workflows where a Solid Edge user might need to transfer data over into NX, and we made sure that that workflow and data exchange works well within the context of those applications. For example, things like mechatronics, or tolerance stack-up, or ergonomics. So let's look at one of these plus process chains. One is virtual conditioning. So this is an application that a lot of our machine design customers are quite excited about. So with this plus process chain, our Solid Edge users doing machine design can take that design in Solid Edge and take that over into the NX Mechatronics Concept Designer, which allows you to do physics-based simulation of both mechanical and electrical systems. That includes having that software simulation take input from physical hardware into loop. For example, taking an input stream from a motion control sensor or from a PLC to allow you to really validate your design as it will be used in production. So let's take a look at a video here on the left-hand side here. So here you have an NX design of a conveyor packaging machine. We're taking that into the NX Mechatronics Concept Designer, where you can start to define the simulation. So you can define your rigid bodies, you can define the collision surfaces, such as the top of the conveyor. You can define things like motion sensors, you can define material flow rates, everything you need to define and execute a high fidelity simulation of this machine in operation. So really powerful capability that a lot of our machine design customers I think are going to have a lot of interest in. Another example of a plus process chain is mold and die design. So here Solid Edge customers that are designing products that are being produced by a mold or die can take their Solid Edge design and import that into the NX mold and die design wizard, which is an advanced application that helps automate the design of the complete mold tool assembly. It also does things like tool validation, tool costing, as well as mold flow simulation as shown in the video here. So another application I think a lot of our users will be interested in. So we have customers today that are using Siemens Mechanical Design. One is Group SEB. What they tell us about Siemens Mechanical Design is it really broadens and maximizes the design capabilities they have to design their products. And it does so at a lower total cost of ownership. They also tell us that it really helps future-proof their design software because it gives them everything they need to tackle their design challenges today, but know it gives them enough headroom to grow into different areas as they have future design challenges that they wrestle with. And on the left of this slide, you'll see some additional customers that are using both Solid Edge and NX across the design workflows throughout their organization. And so in summary, Siemens Mechanical Design gives you convenient and cost-effective access to both Solid Edge and NX. And when you couple that with things like value-based licensing, it It really gives you a very cost-effective, flexible way to access a broad range of product design capabilities and reduce your total cost of ownership. Now, before I close, I did want to mention Solid Edge 2023, and I really hope you all are taking advantage of the great new features that are in Solid Edge 2023, many of which are shown here, and many of which Dan spoke about in his presentation. So we don't really have time to go into that right now. But I do hope when you use Solid Edge 2023 that you see the immense focus we've placed on improving designer productivity, which means improving the features you use every single day to do your design work. So if you haven't checked out Solid Edge 2023, we really hope you do so. We've been getting good feedback from some of our customers. You see two of our customers here, and two of their quotes really reinforcing my comment on 2023 really has a big emphasis on increasing designer productivity and improving those features you use every single day to do your design work. And last but certainly not least, we hope you mark your calendar for Solid Edge 2024, which we're going to release in October. We're equally excited about this release and hope you're able to load that on your machines and take a look at that when it's released. So in closing, on behalf of the entire Solid Edge team, we'd like to thank you, our customers, for helping make Solid Edge such a success. We'd also like to once again thank CADX for being such a wonderful partner, putting on such an excellent event here. And so we hope to get the chance to talk to some of you guys on breaks and after the show. Again, enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, guys. Thank you for sharing. 好的，那我们现在紧接下来的还是